Ezekiel 5 and 11. Wherefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary with all thy detestable things, and with all thine abominations, therefore will I also diminish thee, neither shall mine eye spare, neither will I have any pity. A third part of thee shall die by the pestilence, and with famine shall be that they be consumed in the midst of thee, and a third part shall fall by the sword round about thee, and I will scatter the third part into all the winds, and I will draw out a sword after them. Thus shall mine anger be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted, and they shall know that I am Yahweh, and that I Yahweh have spoken it in my zeal, when I have accomplished my fury in them. Moreover, I will make thee waste and a reproach amongst the nations that are round about thee in the sight of all that pass by. So it shall be a reproach and a taunt, and an instruction and an astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee, when I shall execute judgments in thee in anger, and have fury, and in furious rebukes. I, Yahweh, have spoken it. So, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bar Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Bar Hashem, Brachachodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to all you Arkim, be pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth. So, as always, I'm going to start by saying that we are the true Hebrew Israelites, the true Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans predominantly. Not only that, though, you're going to have Israelites that look like the other nations. So, for example, you're going to have Israelites who may look like so-called white people, or so-called Indian, or so-called Chinese, or so-called Japanese. But if they're sea-lined by their father, goes back to the man in the Bible named Israel, then they are too Israelites, no matter what they look like. Because pertaining to Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18, your nationality is actually determined by the lineage of your forefathers. So in this lesson, I started off with a little reading of Ezekiel chapter 5 verses 11 through to 15. And the reason why I'm bringing that out is because I want to focus on the pestilence. Because it says in Ezekiel 5 and 12, it says, a third part of thee shall die with the pestilence, and with famine shall they be consumed in the midst of thee, and a third part shall fall by the sword round about thee, and I will scatter the third part into all the winds, and I will draw out a sword after them. So I'm really focusing on the pestilence, because basically us Israelites, we've been scattered amongst all nations, but now Yahweh sees the time fit where he's calling out his elect, and we're waking up out of our sleep, pertaining to Ezekiel 37th chapter. We're waking up from our sleep and we're coming back to the knowledge, wisdom and understanding of our true history and heritage and who we really are, which is Yasharallah, which is to say he is the Prince of the Power. Really, us Israelites, we're the sons of the Most High. We're the Lord's chosen people, pertaining to Deuteronomy 7 and 6, I believe. Let me get that for edification's sake. Yeah, so here's Deuteronomy 7 and 6, and it says, this was Yahweh speaking unto us Israelites via Moses at Mount Sinai after the Exodus. It says, for thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all the people that were upon the face of the earth. Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people. But because Yahweh loved you, and because you would keep the oath which is sworn unto your fathers, hath Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So with that, let me get into the topic of this little lesson, which is the coronavirus, which is broken out in China. I believe it started in Wuhan, China, and it's been spreading like wildfire. Now, for those of us who are of the elect and in the know, we know that all these diseases were created by Esau, and it's part of his disease warfare. But that being said, you're still going to have this is still being done by the hand of Yahweh, because basically Esau, although he's following Satan on the left-hand side, he's still doing the will of the Most High, which goes back into the scripture I just read a moment ago, which was Ezekiel chapter 5 and verse 12. Because essentially this is the will of the Most High, because he's in control of everything. But he's basically set Esau up to create these diseases, to unleash them, to accomplish the wrath and the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So I want to just play this little video clip, because basically all of the curses that fell upon us Israelites, they're now starting to be placed upon the other nations, such as Moab. So I want to play this video because it shows that, you know, everybody in the world is looking at you Moabites sideways now, because you're being revealed for the heathens that you are. So let's play this clip.
Hello, good evening or good morning. I want you to share this video to anybody you know. This happened in China. This is a lady who went to the hospital and they've diagnosed her of the coronavirus. Now she is going back home. She got into a lifter, a public lifter. She started spitting the virus on the lifter button. So please watch it carefully. You have to be careful the way you use public things nowadays, because the world is wicked. People are so wicked. Just watch what the lady is doing. Watch the video carefully. Now people coming into the lifter, and once they come into the lifter, automatically you must touch the button to the floor you go into. So you see how they distribute the virus. That is why the virus is spreading so fast, because demonic agents are at work. Okay, now she stays into the lifter because she wants to really pollute the place with the virus. See, she keeps spitting on the door, spitting. She keeps spitting around. Watch carefully. Now this is another old man who came up with the virus. See how he will spit on the lifter button. Then he will spit on his hands. See, he spit on his hand. He rubbed it on the buttons of the lifter. Just watch. You see? Yeah. This is how they distribute the virus.
So like, yeah, that's another video about something else. So yeah, let me get back to the scriptures. As I was saying, you know, the world's starting to look at you other nations sideways, because, like, especially you Moabites right now, because you're being revealed for the heathens that you are. I mean, as the video rightly said, that's a satanic agent distributing the virus like that, man. I mean, what kind of wickedness is that? So let me get Deuteronomy chapter 28. Starting on from 1. Yeah. So it says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently to the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all of his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power. Blessed shall thou be in the city, blessed shall thou be in the field, blessed shall be the fruit of thy body. Basically, let me jump down to 7. And Yahweh shall cause all thy enemies to rise up against thee, and be smitten before thy face, and they shall come out against thee one way, and shall flee before thee 7 ways. Verse 9, and Yahweh shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahweh thy power, and walk in his ways. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of thee. And the Lord and Yahweh shall make thee plenteous in goods, and in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which Yahweh sware unto thy fathers to give thee. And Yahweh shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heavens, to give the rain unto thy land in its season. Let me jump down to verse 13. And Yahweh shall make thee the head, and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If thou shalt hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh thy power, which shall command thee this day to observe and to do them. But here's the point. But it shall come to pass, in verse 15, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all of his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all the curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee, Cursed shall they be in the city, and cursed shall they be in the field, so on and so forth. You can read down for all the curses that will be under, and it says ultimately in verse 64, Deuteronomy 28:64, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all the people from one end of the earth even to the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thy father neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even of wood and stone. And among these nations thou shalt find an ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart and a failing of eyes and a sorrow of mind. Now basically the whole point is that these were the curses that we're under because we've transgressed the laws of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But the point I want to make is that these curses are beginning to fall upon our enemies. So let me jump back to Ezekiel 5. There we go, 5 and 11. And this is the whole point, because basically the reason why I'm saying this is because that video has exposed those Moabites for their wickedness in intentionally trying to spread the coronavirus. So let me bring this out. It says Ezekiel 5, Wherefore, as I live, saith Yahweh power, surely, because thou hast defiled my sanctuary with all thy detestable things, and with all thine abominations, therefore will I also diminish thee, neither shall mine eye spare, neither will I have any pity. A third part of thee shall die by the pestilence, coronavirus, SARS, all kinds of pestilences Yahweh's going to unleash on this place to take out, 1/3 of Israel. And with famine shall they be consumed in the midst of thee, and a third part shall fall by the sword round about thee, and I will scatter a third part into all the winds, and I will draw out a sword after them. So the second third is going to get taken out by the sword. Thus shall my anger be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted, and they shall know that I, Yahweh, have spoken it in my zeal, when I have accomplished my fury in them. Yeah, so basically, moreover, I will make thee waste and a reproach among the nations that are round about thee in the sight of all that pass by. Now you see, this reproach is starting to be lifted off us Israelites, and it's falling upon you Edomites, you Moabites, you Hamites, you Ishmaelites. You're all being, the curses are falling off of us and beginning to land upon your peoples. So as I said, now people are starting to look at these Moabites sideways because they're seeing what these Moabites are getting up to, and you other nations, and it's all through the will and the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because now Yahweh is beginning to raise us Israelites up. As I said, he's woken us up from our sleep. We're coming back to the knowledge, wisdom and understanding of our true heritage and our true power, which is Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So I think I've made this point fair enough, and I don't want to drag this lesson out. So with that, giving all praise, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bah Hashem Yahushai, Bah Hashem HaKadosh, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and shalom to the Akim that be pushing this word in faith and in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.